Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Breanna. I'm going to be your e-tutor and your SI leader, your tutor, and I guess your demonstrations leader, because these videos will be demonstrations of specific subject matter that we will be covering versus the multiple subjects we cover in SI or e-tutoring. This is a little more in depth. So, welcome back to another demonstration. This one will mainly be about neoplasms. However, rather than go into malignant neoplasms, we'll go over benign mainly. So, what is a neoplasm? First of all, let's get that definition out of the way and where the term comes from. So, over in the upper right corner, you see neoplasia, which means new growth. We have oncology, onco, tumor, neoplasm, and logy, or ology really, science dealing with the study of the tumor. So your neoplasm is a neo-growth, a new growth. Your neoplasm will often be called that or a tumor, so just for a future reference. So a neoplasm is an abnormal mass of tissue due to uncontrolled proliferation of the cells. So this mass of tissue is uncoordinated and unresponsive with that of normal tissue. Now, there are two types of neoplasms. Like I said, we'll be going over the benign ones this time. So in the lower left corner, we have that benign grows slowly and it's encapsulated. No tissue destruction, no infiltration, no spread or metastasizing to distant sites. And up in the top, you can see how we classify them. So two of the most common ways to classify a neoplasm are due to their appearance, growth pattern, or their tissue of origin and the type of body tissue of which they grow from. Technically that should be 3, but alright. And neoplasm tumors, once again, benign or malignant. So what is benign? It did say they're encapsulated, however they are also well differentiated, so you can tell where the tumor tissue starts and stops and where the healthy tissue starts and stops. So it's well differentiated. It's also very slow to grow, comparatively to malignant. It's very slow, it's encapsulated, it's well differentiated. It doesn't spread or metastasize. If you have a benign tumor or neoplasm, you don't have to worry about it going from, say, your stomach to your kidneys to your body, and then you have systemic tumors and cancer. That's not benign. Benign is typically a single placement or a scattering of placements, but none having to do with each other. And that photo is a benign neoplasm. And as you can see, it really doesn't look like anything. It doesn't look scary, it doesn't look deadly, it's just a mass or a bump while you control it. So, for examples of different benign neoplasms, we've gone over this previously, but so you'll all remember. We have your papilloma. Your papilloma are your epithelial surface benign neoplasms. We have your glandular. So you have your adenoma. Well, your adenoma is your glandular tissue. Then you have, for connective tissue, a fibroma. This is for your fibrous tissue. We have your lipoma. Again, connective tissue, but this is for your adipose. For cartilage, we have your chondroma. For bone, we have your osteoma. Blood vessels, hemangioma. Lymph vessels, lymphangioma. For muscle, smooth muscle, it's leiomyoma. For striated muscle, rhabdomyoma. For nerve tissue, the nerve cell, neuroma. Glial cell, glioma. Nerve sheaths, neurilemoma. I will never be able to pronounce that properly. For the meninges, you have meningioma. So, that's essentially the gist of it. However, for your hematologic system, your granulocytic, erythrocytic, plasma cells, lymphocytic, and monocytic, your book mainly goes over malignant, so that will be covered next time. And as you can tell, for all of the benign, you have oma at the end, rather than coma, which I'll give a hint next time. So that oma is how you know what type of neoplasm that is, benign or malignant. As well as, if you look at the words, the names of the benign tissue or tumors versus the name of the tissue they result from, typically it's very similar. So for adipose tissue, and it's lipoma. Adipose or fat is also lipids. Lipids, lipoma. Cartilage, chondroma. Just use the two C's. For surface, papilloma. Not really much of a hint there, but I bet you guys can't actually figure that one out. I just remember it because it's so papillae. Glandular, adenoma. Again. For bones, osteoma. The way to remember this isn't by the term, but by your osseous tissue, your osteoporosis, all these things affecting the bones. Blood vessels, hemangioma. So for anything related to blood, we'll have the term heme or hema in it because that's essentially your relating factor. For lymph vessels, the term lymph is in the benign tumor or neoplasm, lymphangioma. However, for muscle, you have no helpers, no hints, because for smooth is leiomyoma. Striated, rhabdomyoma. So those are more you'll have to just link the names with, rather than have a hint or clue. For your nerve cells, it has it right there, neuroma. Glial tissue, glioma. Nerve sheaths, neuromyoma, thing I cannot pronounce. Meninges, meningioma. So those are essentially the basics, of course. And what we distinguish them by is, of course, this is a better version of that classification, but these cells' characteristics rather than appearance. These cells' rate of growth. So how fast do they grow? How slow do they grow? Their manner of growth. Do they grow more by one tumor growing, or do they grow by spreading? The neoplasm or tumor's ability to invade and metastasize to other parts of the body. That's fairly straightforward. And then the potential for causing death. Now, while benign tumors are less likely to cause death, that doesn't mean they're completely incapable. The benign tumors or neoplasms can occlude an important vessel or pathway, as well as these tumors can actually excrete hormones from whatever tissue they're a part of. So let's say an insulinoma. Let's work off the word. Insulin, so that's a hormone, used to control sugar and sugar/glucose levels in the body. Oma, so that's your benign tumor or neoplasm. And this typically can be within the pancreas or on the pancreas. On the head of the pancreas or in the head of the pancreas can be more dangerous because it's more highly vascularized. But if you have this insulinoma, typically it will overproduce insulin, meaning that you'll have more difficulty controlling your blood sugar. And it won't cause a high blood sugar. In fact, it's the opposite. Because producing so much insulin, you will constantly have a low blood sugar. You'll have to be constantly eating, constantly eating sugary things, or constantly on a form of medication that will increase your blood sugar levels. This, of course, also messes with a few other enzymes and minerals within the body, such as salt, but that's a conversation for another time. So then, for the benign, the cell characteristics for it, it's a well-differentiated cell that resembles cells in the tissue of origin. Its rate of growth, usually progressive and slow, may come to a standstill or even regress. Its mode of growth, it grows by expansion without invading the surrounding tissues, usually encapsulated, meaning it can't spread to other areas. It's just in its little bubble. And then metastasis. Benign tissue or benign neoplasms and tumors do not spread through metastasis. So, that's the gist of the benign neoplasms. Next time we'll go over malignant neoplasms. I hope that helped you guys, and thank you for watching. Have a good night.